What a brutal ending to the Golden State Warriors season as they lose the NBA title in 6 games to the Toronto Raptors. What is going on, y'all? Fox Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NBA here to talk about the Golden State Warriors and asking whether or not their dynasty is potentially done and finished. Okay, before I do so, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe by clicking the subscribe button down below and turning on my post notification, and also follow me on my social media links down below for my Twitter and my Instagram. With that being said, here to talk about obviously the Warriors, but I want to give the credit to the Raptors because this should all be about Toronto right now. We should be celebrating the Raptors championship, and I did so, and I posted a video reacting to that, giving my analysis to the Raptors, who of course were the better team in the series, even though, you know, the Warriors got hit by the injury bug. But I will get into that real quickly. Props to the Toronto Raptors once again for winning the NBA championship. Now let's talk about the Golden State Warriors and talk about their dynasty potentially ending. And there is big news now coming out of Golden State that Klay Thompson has officially torn his ACL. Yes, that's right. The knee injury he has sustained when he went up for that dunk in the game and got fouled, I believe, by Danny Green. And he was writhing in pain. That turned out to be a torn ACL for Klay Thompson. So, of course, that is devastating news for the Warriors and for Klay Thompson. This comes, on top of Kevin Durant having that torn Achilles. So, just two absolutely brutal back-to-back injuries. You know, you want to talk about salt on a wound. You want to talk about insult to injury, pun intended. This is it for the Golden State Warriors, as Steph Curry was the lone guy out there. I mean, you still had Draymond Green, but you get my point here. So let's talk about the fact that Golden State for sure is done next year, okay? They absolutely can't compete next year just by strictly timeline purposes. You want to talk about Kevin Durant? He'll potentially miss the entire season, okay? There's a slight chance he could be back at the back end of next season, but if you want to play on the safe side here, and I believe Kevin Durant will, he's probably gone for the entire year. I mean, it's the worst injury you can sustain in basketball, which is a torn Achilles. And then you want to talk about a torn ACL. You want to talk about the next serious injury you can suffer is a torn ACL for Klay Thompson. And you're looking at almost, a similar timeline, maybe a little less, but torn ACLs take a while. And so for the Warriors, not even championship aspirations being out the window. You want to talk about, can you make the playoffs next year with just Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala, and a collection of veterans, and that's really about it. So for the most part, in the short term, we know their dynasty is done in the short term. Now, in the long term, there's a potential for, obviously KD and Klay to obviously come back, and the Warriors would still be the Warriors, but this all hinges on free agency. And it's so crazy because Klay and KD ended up being the two guys that got hurt, and not Steph or Draymond, because Steph or Draymond are not free agents, and Klay and KD are. And so they're both free agents this summer, and so the long-term prospects hinges on what they both are going to do if they re-sign in Golden State. Like I said, the immediate future, obviously these guys will not obviously be available next year for the Warriors to make a title run. I don't believe so. But in years, down the line, sure, that could happen. But what will they do? If you're the Warriors, though, you absolutely offer the max to both Klay and Kevin Durant. You just do it. I have no worries about Klay Thompson coming back and being the same player. Torn ACL is not, a career-threatening injury, if you will. It's a devastating injury for sure, but I wouldn't say it's that devastating for a guy like Klay Thompson, who, isn't the most athletic guy, and his game is predicated on shooting mostly. So Klay, I expect to come back, but Kevin Durant, that torn Achilles, a lot of players are not the same after that injury. But again, his game is also more skill than it is athleticism. So there's a chance he could come back and beat Kevin Durant as well. Point being is, if you're Golden State, you offer the max to both those players. You just do it, okay? And you hope they take it. I believe Klay Thompson will take the max and re-sign in Golden State. As far as Kevin Durant, I'm a little less certain about that. Right now, my gut tells me I do believe Kevin Durant will re-sign with Golden State Warriors. I was not feeling this way before the injury. I just want to point that out. But after the injury, I thought about it, and I think Kevin Durant wants to stay in Golden State, and he sees the fact that they can offer him the most money. He sees the fact that, listen, the Warriors still have a chance, again, in the long term to still compete for championships. And whoever his new team is that he will sign or he would go to, like a New York, they would not be able to wait for Kevin Durant for a year to recover. So, again, to me, gut feeling, you asked me today, Kevin Durant stays with the Warriors. So, again, short term, the Warriors are absolutely going to suffer. That means next year's title is wide open. And if Kawhi Leonard leaves, it's going to be chaos, okay? So, long term, Warriors obviously, if they re-sign Klay and KD, will be able to enter the mix again. But man, just a devastating injury. So to sum it up, basically, is the Warriors dynasty over? For the short term, absolutely. For the long term, potentially not. It depends on if Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson re-sign. But for the short term, it is over. So if you want to take that as a no for right now, the Warriors dynasty is over for now. So there you have, folks. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree. Leave a comment down below. As always, thanks for watching.